Hello there friends. Welcome to my channel. Welcome to my home refresh video. Last week we transformed my plant corner. This week we are refreshing the shelf beside it with peel and stick wallpaper, books and decor, and together these two projects completely transform this side of my living room. So I've had this shelf for quite a while now, and although I still love the design, the dark wood has always made it feel heavier than I wanted. Because the shelf itself is made from dark wood, it tends to absorb a lot of light rather than reflect it. I wanted to create something brighter, fresher, and a little bit more modern without replacing the shelf altogether. Sometimes we don't need new furniture. A few thoughtful changes can completely transform what we already own. The first step is to remove everything. Books, decor, plants, everything has to come off. I always enjoy this stage because it gives me the opportunity to rethink how everything will be arranged later. Sometimes starting with a completely blank canvas is exactly what we need. On this occasion, I think that I already have a pretty good layout, but I can still make subtle changes for a much better look. So, friends, fun fact, or maybe not so fun fact, I do not own a TV because I do not watch television. So this shelf here creates a central point of interest in my living room. It's also always a conversation starter and a beautiful place to rest one's eyes on. Also, I change the decor and layout every so often to keep it looking interesting. For you friends who've been watching me for a while now, you've probably noticed that my living room has a lot of curated pieces. I would describe it as a modern, cozy, botanical, and eclectic style, where everything doesn't necessarily have to match perfectly, because I have all these mixed pieces that I have collected over time. I always try to curate a lived-in feel with warmth and personality rather than a showroom look. This is the empty shelf. It's time to remove the old peel and stick wallpaper at the back over there. It actually served me quite well for some time, but it has definitely seen better days. Removing it is surprisingly satisfying, although it does take a little patience. Thankfully, it seems to be coming away fairly cleanly. This is the last satisfying bit that's going out, and the shelf already feels like it's getting a fresh start. See how there's a dust buildup on top of the shelf? and also stains that have accumulated over time. Here, I'm wiping the dust off first before I give it a good clean with my trusted home cleaner.
Hard to find me if you really want to. Turns past that takes a cool sign. Same ball cap, same moon boots.
Sometimes you wonder where all this dust comes from. It has a way of collecting in all the little corners and shelves. Well, I think just taking a few extra minutes here will make a big difference because the new peel and stick adheres much better to a clean surface. It's also one of those simple jobs that will be very satisfying.
I moved on, but not too far. Just down the road from who we are. You can change your hair, change your street, but you can't outrun the memories. Nah, I ain't mad, I just laugh sometimes. How love can fade, but this town stays mine. They say small towns just don't forget. I guess you're right about that. You can change your mind, but not your past. Every mile just feels like moving half. You can change my name in your phone. You can't leave in a town this small. Every red light still knows your car. Every porch light still breaks my heart. You can back it up, girl, burn it all. You can't leave in a town this small. Don't go too far when it's written in the...
I'm trying to make sure that the back over there is also thoroughly cleaned so that the new peel and stick will have a clean surface to stick on.
Yeah. Ooh. You can change your mind but not your past. Every mile just feels like moving half. You can change my name in your phone. You can't leave in a town this small. Every red light still knows your car. Every porch light still breaks my heart. You can back it up, girl, burn it all. You can't leave in a town this small. You can change your mind but not your past. Every mile just feels like moving half. You can change my name in your phone. You can't leave in a town this small. Every red light still knows your car. Every porch light still breaks my heart. You can back it up, girl, burn it all. You can't leave in a town this small. I hear you been asking about me, where I've been and where I sleep. It's hard to find me if you really want to. Turns past that takes a cool sign. Same ball cap, same moon boots. Trying to outrun the thought of you, but in this town the truth don't stop. You can't leave in a town this small. You can change your mind but not your past. Every mile just feels like moving half. You can change my name in your phone. You can't leave in a town this small. I moved on but not too far. Just down the road from who we are. You can change your hair, change your street, but you can't outrun the memories. Nah, I ain't mad, I just laugh sometimes. How love can fade, but this town stays mine. They say small towns just don't forget. I guess you're right about that. You can change your mind but not your past.
Here we have it, all done, very clean, smells fresh. And now for the part I've been looking forward to. I've chosen a much lighter peel and stick design because I want the back of the shelf to brighten the whole space. Of course, things don't always go according to plan, as you will see later on. This is my peel and stick paper. I got it on Temu and it took a whole month to arrive. I don't know why, but well, it's here and I hope it's good quality and it was worth the wait. I bought 2 rolls of a total of 10 meters because I will be using it for other DIY projects around the house. This is just one of them. Here is a closer look at it. It's got this beautiful wood grain texture, and the paper itself feels substantial. So over here, friends, I'm taking measurements of all the shelves to make all the cuttings before I apply the peel and stick. This is going to make my workflow much easier. I have heard professionals say to measure twice and cut once. In my opinion, that's wisdom. So I'm going to do exactly that. I've got all my measurements now ready to cut. Wish me all the best, friends, because things don't always work out how we plan them. As you can see over there, that roll of the paper is already giving me a bit of trouble, but it's nothing that we can't fix. Here is success, all cut, ready to go. Let's roll. Of course, things don't quite go according to plan, like I said earlier. At first, I struggled to line up everything, like you see me doing here. I smooth one section and the other develops bubbles. Then I straighten one side and the opposite side shifts. I'm sorry, friends, for being dramatic. I'm sure many of you can relate if you've ever worked with peel and stick wallpaper. But instead of rushing, I slow down, work in smaller sections, and gradually everything starts coming together. This card I'm trying to use here is absolutely useless to me. I've discovered that it works much better if I smooth it with my palms. Nevertheless, this peel and stick paper is really good quality and very forgiving. It allows you to stick and peel and adjust many times without crinkling or losing its stickiness. The stickiness is also quite firm, and I think this is going to last me for a long while. I wanted the wood grain on the paper to run vertically so that it mimics the natural wood grain on the shelf. Unfortunately, this wallpaper has a smaller width in that direction, if you understand what I mean. That's why I've had to cut it in two pieces. But the seam where the two pieces meet is virtually invisible to the eye, and that's great. I love that. Finally, dear friends, this is the last piece. Working at this angle in a small space, it's not easy. It needs me to do some stretching gymnastics, if there is such a thing. But I got it. I got it. And here is the final result. It definitely looks much brighter than the previous wallpaper it had, and I am excited. I'm looking forward to doing the styling now. Now comes my favorite part, styling. I know I said the last part was my favorite, but this is my most favorite. This is where the shelf really starts to come to life.
So high, feet on the ground, but I still get by. The rules were made for someone else to try, but not me, not me. They said slow down, son, take your time, but I was born running every stop sign. Sky is the limit, no chance to hold. Sky is
I'll make a disclaimer here, friends. I'm not an expert. I just go with how I feel and what pleases my eyes. You'll notice that I'm mixing books with decorative objects to create different heights, textures, and visual interest. Rather than filling every space, I like leaving a little breathing room between the pieces. It helps each item stand out and creates a calmer, more balanced look. Styling shelves is always a process for me. Sometimes I move things around several times before everything feels right. There is a method to the madness if you watch closely. On each shelf, I have put decor on one side and then a little library of books encased by beautiful antique bookends. However, each group of similar items sit in a zigzag shape from one shelf to another. If you've been with me from the start, you know that I love thrifting. I would say 80% of the stuff on this shelf are thrifted for very cheap. That piece, for example, was just £2. And please don't ask me why I don't remove the stickers. I think I like to keep them just as a reminder of how much I spent. Maybe later on I'll sell them one day and it will give me an idea of how much to sell them for. It's no secret that I love houses, I love architecture, and this little cottages just do it for me. I can have a piece of architecture, especially with these old miniature vintage models. They are highly detailed, scaled down replicas of historic UK homes. Over here, I have two Lilliput Lane cottages, a David Winter Tudor style cottage. One is a model of the house from the British soap opera Coronation Street. And then I have a lovely teapot cottage as well.
Feats of flame. Every scar reminds me why I came. I've been broke, I've been blessed, carry faith in an empty chest till now. The stars are down like good old friends, saying, boy, don't stop where the sky just ends.
I have reserved the bottom shelf for storage. I put seasonal decor in there. This basket is large and pretty enough, and no one's the wiser. And the final pieces are these battery lit candles. They are quite old and I know I need more modern ones that use a remote, but for now, these will do. They tie everything together and really suit the style of the shelf. Plus, they introduce a cozy and warm vibe into the space. And here it is, the finished shelf. I honestly can't believe how much brighter it looks. The lighter backing completely changes the character of the shelf while allowing the books, the decor, and the plants to stand out so much more beautifully. Sometimes the smallest changes really do make the biggest difference. What I love most isn't just the shelf itself. It's how this one project has transformed this entire side of my living room. Together with my newly styled plant corner, this space now feels brighter, calmer, and much more like home. It reminds me that creating a beautiful home doesn't always require expensive renovations or buying lots of new furniture. Sometimes refreshing what we already have is all it takes. I hope today's makeover has inspired you to look around your own home and see familiar pieces with fresh eyes. Thank you so much for spending some time with me today. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up. Leave me a comment letting me know your favorite part of the transformation. And if you're new here, I'd love for you to subscribe and join me for more homemaking, decorating, and DIY inspiration. Until next time, take care, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye!